Hello, this is Ask Yosi, and this is Sportce.com. Today, it's going to be a very emotional day for me personally because I have a wonderful guest for us today, Mr. Sean Koppelman from the Talent Magnet, which we will discuss shortly, some topics that I think for you, the viewer, and for our audience, we've been asked a lot of questions about, and I want to address those concerns. And after that, something has come to light that I think for all us, how should I say, business travelers, regular travelers, maybe you have or maybe you haven't known about. But I'm going to discuss some key issues about what's happening in the marketplace with credit and with travel and how the two synergize. So when we come back, we will speak with Mr. Sean Koppelman about the inner workings of some of the job recruitment firms that are out there. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Sports. My name is Greg Dorman and this is Rally Notes.
Racing fans, don't forget that on Thursdays at 7 p.m., it's time for Rally Notes. Greg Dorman, rally racing co-driver from Klein Racing, hosts guests and takes your calls about the entire automotive industry, rally racing, and auto racing in general. Rally racing is a great sport. They have Subarus and all sorts of off-road, all-wheel drive vehicles that run through the mud and the backlogging roads. But he's not only talking rally, he'll talk all sorts of racing and automobiles as well. We'll test cars, we'll drive cars, and we'll have a lot of fun. Rally Notes, 7 p.m. on Thursday. Don't miss it.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Warning Track. I'm Matt Mankiewicz.
If you could change one thing about the game today, what would it be?
Baseball fans, don't forget to check out the Warning Track Friday nights at 6 p.m. with Brett Quintine and Matt Mankiewicz. They'll take you through the MLB season, talk everything baseball, have great guests, and field your calls. It's 6 p.m. on Friday nights. Don't miss it. The Warning Track. It's out of here.
Hi, this is Ask Yosi at Sportce.com. Again, I'm here with a distinguished guest, Mr. Sean Koppelman of the Talent Magnet. Sean, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Yosi.
Would you like to give my viewers a little intro into your business and trying to understand what the Talent Magnet does and how they work in the marketplace for today. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to hear a few things from Sean Koppelman.
Sure. Thanks for having me here, Yosi. It's a pleasure to be speaking to everybody. In 2004, after a decade spent in the recruitment industry, I launched the Talent Magnet with the idea that athletes and entertainers shouldn't be the only people to have an agent. And I set out on a mission to be a career agent to those people who were exceptional candidates looking for new jobs and new career moves in the world of beauty, advertising, and entertainment. And since that time, I've had the good fortune to establish relationships with some of the most prestigious companies and brands in the beauty industry, in the advertising agency space, and in entertainment. And it's given me great pleasure to introduce hundreds of people, if not thousands in my career, to new career opportunities that they really want to get up and go to work at every day. And that's been my mission since 2004.
Well, that's great. So I'd like to let the viewers have a look at your website.
Sure.
As you can see on Talent Magnet's website, which is going to be put up shortly, it's very informative. I've known Sean for many years, and some of the things that are on there are very informative, as well as you can see a lot about his bio, his story, some of the companies he represents. And now, Sean, let me ask you a question. Where do you see the business trend changing at the current market?
Well, you know, we've been fortunate over the course of the last 6 to 12 months, really, to see sustained growth in the job market. And thank God, you know, as you know, both of us have known people who have been hit hard by the challenges of this economy. And so it's good to see steady hiring in a number of industry sectors. So in New York, generally the economy heals from Wall Street north, and over the course of the last 6 months to a year, we've seen a good deal of growth in areas that depend on consumer spending, and those are really the industries that I service. Industries that are considered a luxury in times of economic challenge, so beauty, marketing, advertising, and entertainment. So we now see companies adding positions and spending money to bring people back that aren't directly tied to generating revenue. Positions like human resources, marketing, advertising, areas that generally cost a company money. And we see companies steadily making an investment in human capital and bringing talented people into their fold. And more than ever, there's been a concern and a concentration on a chemistry match. And that's been something that I've been able to help coach a lot of people through in the interview process, ensuring that they give themselves the best opportunity to get an offer. Because your resume has a small part of the equation. Being able to sell what a company is buying is really what's going to distinguish you in an interview situation from somebody else and the number of people that you're competing against.
Without naming names, because obviously, you know, I'm sure you have confidentiality just like we do here at Sportce.com.
Sure.
Where would say, if somebody were to go to your site, what companies carry,
Sure.
shall we say, the medium of what you're using?
Well, I mean, I'm very fortunate to be contracted by some of the largest companies in the world that service the beauty industry. So I would say that it would be fair to say that if you went into a large department store, 75 to 80% of the brands that you see in skincare, fragrance, makeup are companies and brands that I represent from a recruitment standpoint. And when these companies call upon me, they're asking me to introduce people who will bring to them a skill set that they don't have that usually relates in some way to marketing their product or developing their product. The people that I place give these companies a greater opportunity to reach their target consumer.
Oh, wow. And how, if somebody wants to follow you or find you, how do they go about doing that?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of different ways. I mean, I think a lot of people today are very aware of how important it is to have a digital presence. And for companies and job seekers alike, it's equally important. And to that end, I have a large presence on LinkedIn. It's been a tremendous resource for me in networking on a professional basis, sharing information, not only about my job openings, but sharing information about interview processes and trends in the marketplace. So LinkedIn is definitely a terrific resource. In addition to postings that I might put up on my website, people can follow me on Twitter and see real-time feeds and posts as they come in from my clients. I'm generally right there on the BlackBerry if I'm out and about or in front of my desk, putting these new jobs that are coming in right up there. So people who are following me are getting an opportunity to see positions very often faster than somebody might be if they waited to see them come up on my website.
If you haven't seen it already, we'll put it up for you so you can see it. There is Twitter, if you haven't seen it already.
Talent Magnet at Twitter.
There you go. You can see that. And you can also try also Facebook as well as LinkedIn, right?
Sure. I mean, Facebook was started as a social community, a place for people to connect on a personal basis, but certainly it's a platform that is equally effective for professional networking. Really just depends upon how you use the site. I also, in addition to having a personal profile, have a professional profile, and you'll find a lot with people who are seeking jobs. They have one that they maintain for personal communication and one that they maintain for professional. That's not a bad idea, especially in the way that information is shared these days. You want to make sure that what you're putting out there is only information that you would want a company or prospective employer to know about you.
And when we come back, Sean Koppelman at the Talent Magnet is going to show you, the viewer, as well as the audience, how to help critique a little bit of your resumes, as well as kind of see some key indicators of where the market's going to be going. So when we come back, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, if you will, about Sean and about the resumes. Thank you.
I'm Justin Tucker, the New York Giants, and you're watching Sportce.com.
want everything sports, you got to go to sportce.com. That's spelled SPORTCE.com. We're going to take you behind the scenes in the world of sports and a lot more. It's sport, content, and entertainment. We got a lot of great stuff. Technology segments.
Now it's got the front and back facing cameras, so you can do video chats like this one via Skype on the 3G network, and you can do FaceTime, only available on the Wi-Fi. It's got a lot of other great features. You can edit on it with iMovie. You can make songs and voiceovers.
Behind the scenes.
We back, sports.com, at this secret location behind the scenes. Jim Jones.
We'll take you into the lives of athletes, follow them off the field, but it's also music.
Be right here, but it's perfect day.
And other genres as well. Check us out, sports.com, and we've got live shows 5 days a week. A lot of live shows with live guests in our New York City studios. We've got Rally Notes at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights, The Warning Track, 6 p.m. on Friday nights, Schwartz on Sports with esteemed broadcaster Peter Schwartz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and on Wednesdays, it's The Music Movement with Daryl Reed. Check us out, sports.com.
Hi, this is Yosi at AskYosi.com and also at Sports.com. So I have Mr. Sean Koppelman here of the Talent Magnet on our show, and he just recently spoke about some trends and issues that are going on in the marketplace. And right now I'd like to point you in the direction of asking Mr. Sean Koppelman about if you could help the viewers and some of the people out there, the job seekers,
Sure.
about looking at their resumes. And we have conveniently, Sean has brought us 2 resumes to show you what's not right and what's right, if you will, to do in the marketplace. So we're going to put one up on the computer right now for you to see what is the version of the bad resume that's out in the marketplace. So Sean, can you tell us a little bit about what you, as you can see on the teleprompt, the bad resume?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a resume that's an example of a good resume that's up there right now. And in a good resume, really what you want to see is a clear, concise message. Because of the great number of resumes that myself and HR executives and other recruiters have to go through, you want to make their job easy. And that's really the bottom line. So what you want to do is you want to present your background in a way that at a glance, you can see exactly where somebody worked, the name of the company, the title they held, their dates of employment, and then in the first 3 to 5 bullet points have a very clear idea of the breadth of responsibilities. I mean, basically what you want to show is strategic and creative abilities, responsibilities and skills that relate to communication and coordination of a process. And then lastly, anything that relates to contributing to the business of that company. So it's one thing to want to be in a creative position, but it's quite another to be able to illustrate in a brief, concise manner the diverse set of responsibilities and skill sets that you bring. So you want to paint a picture in as few words as possible to be able to give that employer, the human resources executive, or for me, an idea in the shortest amount of time possible of exactly why they should bring you in. Also, it's important to understand that when people are reviewing your resume, they're generally looking for reasons not to bring you in. Don't give them any. Often what's important to you personally and what you took a lot of pride in may not necessarily be relevant to a prospective employer. And it's important to make that distinction. It's important to be consistent. There's a protocol and a format for a resume. If you're talking about responsibilities that you have in your current job, they should be in the present tense. It's a very simple thing, but it points to your attention to detail. And anything, obviously that you did previously should be in the past tense. So managed, prepared, coordinated, those should be some of the key words or action words that you're using. And these things seem small, Yosi, but I'll tell you that human resources professionals will automatically put somebody at the bottom of their pile if they see simple things that look sloppy, that look like somebody didn't pay attention or was not necessarily taking pride in the quality of their resume. You know, before somebody meets you and is impressed by what you bring to the table, your resume is your only representation. And it's very important that you send a very clear, concise message about the caliber of individual and candidate that you are.
And then, Sean, we also have what's known as the right resume, or a better resume that the prospective employer is going to look at, which we'll put up for you right now.
Yeah, I think we were just looking at a good resume, and I think what's going to go up now will probably be an example of a resume that's not necessarily as organized and as clear as you would want to send.
What if there's a lot of breaks between jobs?
Well, you know what? That's become a very, very real problem and a challenge for a lot of people, especially in this challenging economy. In the last 2 or 3 years, it's not uncommon for people to have 2 or 3 different jobs. It's not uncommon for people to have been without work, some of them since the end of '07, middle of '08. It is important to address gaps in employment.
How do you address it? What if someone's freelance? What if someone is not working, or if they've collected unemployment even?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I think it's really something that is a personal preference of how you address that. I mean, I think that sometimes the more you make of it, the worse it is. And that's really in an interview situation. From a resume standpoint, whenever there's a significant break or gap in time, you want to give some explanation. Either that you were freelancing, interning, helping a family business, whatever the case may be. You know, what you don't want to do is leave someone who is reviewing the resume in a position of guessing what you might be doing. You know, they'll assume that you were at home, you know, eating bonbons, watching daytime television when you were out actively searching every day. And so anything that you were doing, you know, that relates to the field and profession that you want to pursue. Perhaps you've had an opportunity now to pursue charitable interests. That's a big thing that's come on resumes recently. A lot of people took this time to do things and pursue activities that they wouldn't necessarily have done had they remained working. And I think you'll see a trend of people getting involved in community service and charity work, you know, as a result of having no job to go to. But definitely addressing gaps in employment is important. I think it's important to explain what you've been doing with your time, but certainly I think that there's a lot more leeway these days in understanding what the market has been like, especially in New York, and understanding how difficult it's been.
Now I understand, and we're going to put it up for you right now. You also have a book that's coming out about you, correct?
Well, it's not a book about me, not just yet, but it's actually a book written by a New York Times best-selling author. His name is Martin Yate, and
I think we have a link to that, if I'm not mistaken. I know I had a tough time trying to find it, but I think I tracked it down. I think we have a wonderful, wonderful person in the back that was researching it with me, and we're going to put it up on the teleprompt shortly.
Great. Well, Martin is a world-recognized
that's the blog also.
leader in career counseling and advice, everything from resumes and interviews, and the search process and managing the search process. And what he did was he basically reached out to a panel of experts, and these people came from a variety of different fields with different expertise in different industries, but all relating in some way to career advice, recruitment, and job search. And I was fortunate enough and very honored to be asked to participate in the book, and that book will be coming out shortly. Again, Martin Yate is the author. He's put together a series called Knock 'em Dead, and he's had Knock 'em Dead resumes and Knock 'em Dead interview preparation, and this is Knock 'em Dead secrets and strategies, you know, in a challenging time. I'm summarizing, but it's Knock 'em Dead secrets and strategies, and again, you know, it's an opportunity for me, you know, as a recruiter just working in the New York area, to be honored by somebody who I said, as I said, is nationally recognized, a New York Times best-selling author, to use my input and my advice and my insight into this challenging job market. So I'm really pleased about it.
Now, what's the email that our viewers can get a hold of you at?
Well, my website is www.thetalentmagnet.com, all one word. In addition to the Talent Magnet, as I said before, I maintain a presence digitally, so I'm on LinkedIn all the time. Over the course of the past couple of months, I've tried to be current with my presence on Twitter. So I'm putting all of my newest jobs up on Twitter and looking to increase my network there. But one of my favorite outlets, and it's a creative outlet for me, and it's a way for me to connect with people in a more personal way, in a more personal manner, is my blog. And that blog is talentmagnet.blogspot.com, and it's called Career Moves, and it's all about kind of giving people a feel for me and my brand. I describe myself, as a combination of Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker, and Eminem, right? And everybody has to kind of find their own personal brand, and that's very important because it helps you to connect with people. So sometimes when they see a recruiter, people see a website, people see the industries I work in, they have a picture in their mind of what I might be like, and usually they're very surprised. And this is a nice opportunity for me through the blog to be able to connect with people on a personal level and share some stories that might provide some help and some insight into navigating through this very challenging career marketplace.
Sean, I thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Yosi.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. When we come back, I have a short little piece I'd like to explain to everybody about what's happening, and especially we just got released this week, which is very informative. You can also see it's going to be on Twitter later on today, as well as this evening. And we'll be right back in a few minutes to discuss that and also my favorite restaurant of the week.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Warning Track. I'm Matt Mankiewicz.
If you could change one thing about the game today, what would it be?
Baseball fans, don't forget to check out the Warning Track Friday nights at 6 p.m. with Brett Quintine and Matt Mankiewicz. They'll take you through the MLB season, talk everything baseball, have great guests, and field your calls. It's 6 p.m. on Friday nights. Don't miss it. The Warning Track. It's out of here.
Welcome to Sports. My name is Greg Dorman, and this is Rally Notes.
Racing fans, don't forget that on Thursdays at 7 p.m., it's time for Rally Notes. Greg Dorman, rally racing co-driver from Klein Racing, hosts guests and takes your calls about the entire automotive industry, rally racing, and auto racing in general. Rally racing is a great sport. They have Subarus and all sorts of off-road, all-wheel drive vehicles that run through the mud and the backlogging roads. But he's not only talking rally, he'll talk all sorts of racing and automobiles as well. We'll test cars, we'll drive cars, and we'll have a lot of fun. Rally Notes, 7 p.m. on Thursday. Don't miss it.
Welcome back. It's Ask Yosi at Sportce.com. So anyway, like I said, United States Department of Interior as well as the Immigration Naturalization Service of the United States has changed the laws. As we see, I'm sure I like to travel. I have the travel bug, and so do a lot of other people. But there's a lot of deals. So as of last week, when I showed everyone about FlightAware and the jet companies, I'm going to put it up on there right now. For instance, Continental Airlines, which is what I travel, as of right now, has a thing called OnePass. It's their version of their frequent flyer program. We're going to put it on the teleprompt right now. Anyhow, on the OnePass program, it not only, how do I say this the right way? They're having a new plan now. Once you've reached your goal and you've come up with frequent flyer mileage and you've traveled, they have ways of now getting you bypass the line. And as you'll see it, it'll come up on the teleprompt. Again, I apologize. It shows you the different ins and outs of getting in a Continental. Now, as of you know, baggage fees and all this, that, and so on, you don't have to pay for luggage if you do on the One Pass. So I would highly recommend you look into that. A very informative website. And believe it or not, you can accrue much more miles. And this is a credit card now that they're offering also. I personally have it. I like it. The Sky Lounges, all that's included now that they've combined with United. It's really amazing. Another company that's offering frequent flyer mileage is Amex. We'll put that on the teleprompt for you as well. And I want to just let everyone know, while this American Express is on there, American Express is no longer going to honor the One Pass credit as of September 1st, including you Centurion Black customers. I know we have a few out there. Hopefully we'll see them on my Twitter page. And if you have any questions, again, you can ask me. But Amex will give you what's known as a courtesy credit of basically $200 once you tell them the specific airline, and that's pretty much it. Amex will also give you another thing, which is a priority access. We're going to put this up there also on the teleprompt, priority access. Here's another thing that maybe some of the viewers do or don't know. Priority access is a credit card, but it's not. It's actually an entry card. What this does is it lets you get into any Sky Lounge worldwide pretty much. You show them this card, it gets you into the lounge. It's a very, I'm telling you, I've used this card, amazing. I just flew down to Sao Paulo, Brazil for a party. This card saved myself and my wife. Amazing, amazing card. But you get it free with Amex. You have to pay $99 a year for your own membership. And trust me, it's a very worthwhile product. Lastly, what's going to happen now is Border Control of the United States is now letting you buzz through passport check-in, blueprints. There's another company called FlyClear, FLYCLER.com. The company went bankrupt. A new company just bought it, poured a ton of money into the website. Please test it out, try it. It's worthwhile, and I believe it or not, I think another company is also rivaling it. I'm trying to find out what the name of that company is. It's a border control company. It just went online with the government. Really, really great product. It buzzes you through the line. It gets you closer to customs. But remember, these are not foolproof systems, as in you can't go around them. There's a lot of questions. You have to go in for an appointment. You have to test out. The FlyClear system had me check my retinal scan. They ask you for your blood type, passport. It's like a 7-point process, how to get your ID. Really informative. But anyhow, all these, and if you have questions, again, you hit me up on the Twitter, Ask Yosi. Feel free to go to sportce.com, find me. You can call in at 347-480-1724. Very important. I mean, for me, it's amazing. Also, like I said last week, and I'm saying it again, in today's marketplace, it's us that we need to save. And you know what? These flight companies, they're going to do what we want. But we have to make sure that, A, check into your luggage status, the credit cards, be careful of. But you got to make sure if they're a frequent flyer credit card, maximize why you're doing it. It's total benefit for what you're looking for. And lastly, my restaurant of the week. I saw this great restaurant. You know, I'm blessed that the woman that's in my life teaches me about coochie places all over. There's a restaurant that we went to. It's on the corner of Mott Street. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Lafayette. Anyway, great restaurant. It's called Lazo. It was featured in New York Post. Great pizzeria restaurant. Next time I come on the show, I should have some pictures. I will try to have some pictures for you. If not, I'll get you the website. Really great pizza. I'm not plugging it because we like it. I'm plugging it because I'm telling you, you're going to love it. Family style. Sit down. It takes calm minds to the next level, but it's quaint. So do enjoy yourself. I thank you so much. And next week, if all goes right, we'll either have some information for you about this week's auto show here in New York, as well as some cars that me and my crew have seen. and my ideas of what's going on in the marketplace. And again, you can see Ask Yosi on Twitter, feelfreesports.com. Look forward to seeing you. God bless. Good night. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you so much.